personally, I don't keep it in the house. Like if it's something I personally really don't like, I don't want to be tempted by, I don't keep it in the house. And I yell at my wife when she brings it in the house. And she's like, "You love them too." And I'm like, I know, that's a problem. Like that is.
And the only way I can get rid of them is I eat them all right now. I'm going to eat.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coaches on Couches.
Bing slouches.
I am Coach Dale Sanford. This is Coach Bryant Funston.
Episode number 22.
2-2.
The double deuces.
Yeah, we're going to talk about changing your environment today. That means a lot of things, but we're going to change the environment in order for us to achieve goals that we've set for ourselves. But first, shout-outs.
Shout-outs. I got, I'm going to kick it off today.
Do it.
The summer clan, so some of our clients who we worked with, some of our longest standing clients really.
Yep.
Shayna, Shmuel, and Akiva all knocked out, Shmuel and Akiva did the full marathon, PRs for both, and Shayna did, gosh, I don't even know what number half marathon this was for her, but it was over in Israel. So the Sea of Galilee? Sea of Galilee. In Tiberias. So it was a cool event for them. And yeah, happy to have all of them knock it out.
Should we tell everybody that you had to Google that? How to say that?
I probably butchered it anyway. But so we got people racing halfway across the world.
Yeah. I got a shout out. A little different duration here, but one of our newer clients, my boy Johnny Zinn.
There we go, Zinn.
Had his fastest mile splits ever.
Nice.
Actually, like 2 weeks in a row. So
there you go.
Little improvement there.
Excellent. Shout out one more to Training Peaks for making everyone feel really good. Yeah. Since it's the start of a new year. If you're not on Training Peaks, they give little awards like medals when you hit New Year, like peak performances. First one, day one of 2019, everyone's hitting peaks.
I'm getting badges all over the place for 2019.
Badges galore.
Awesome. Well, all right. So jumping right into it, what are we talking about when we say change your environment? I think I think it's important we talk about this week because everyone probably came off New Year's. They have their New Year's resolutions that everyone likes to set. You hear a lot of people say resolutions don't work. Yeah. Resolutions only work if you actually take steps to ensure they work. Yep. And one of the best things you can do is change your environment. It's always good. You always have good intentions, and you write this stuff on sticky notes, and or make goals for yourself, make a running list, and then for some reason people just think that this stuff's just going to happen.
It's not easy. To change a habit or a behavior is not an easy thing to do.
So in line with that, we kind of have categorized it in three different pieces. Easiest to hardest things to change in your environment to achieve goals. And one is your setup or your gear.
Yep. Pretty
easy change. Maybe the financial part of it is not the easiest, but as far as
dirty old money, Dale.
It's just, I know.
You always make more of it.
Make more tomorrow. All right. The second one would be like your habitat or the things like that you surround yourself with or that surround you. A little bit harder to change. And then your routines and habits. Those are by far the hardest things to make permanent changes in. So we'll kind of be talking in reference to those three categories. But first, step one.
This is a huge one.
You got to have goals.
Which is usually what a resolution is, So timing on this, if you're listening to this in the future, this is two Thursdays after, what's today? 10th, January 10th. So we're, 10 days out from everyone's lofty resolutions goal, which is a goal. That's a goal you set.
If you've got some awesome goals, comment them.
Yeah, definitely. Throw them on there. But you need to have something that excites you. So have a goal that makes it worth getting up early for.
Yeah.
Doing the, first thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about consistency, nutrition, and recovery.
Those are the big three, really.
Three big things that people always have good intentions towards doing, but then it's really tough to put into action. But, have a goal that when you look back on it, it gets you to go do that workout that you probably wouldn't have done otherwise. Yeah. Make sure you write it down and reference it daily.
Keep it in your face.
Yeah.
Really.
And make sure it's an actual point. Like at one point in time, I printed out one of the goals I had and put it on my mirror in my bathroom. Mm-hmm. But just like anything, it then became something that it just became a part of my environment, and then I didn't even notice it anymore. So if you have part of your morning routine where it's written down and you actually have to physically go and grab it, pull it out, look at it, read it, and think about, the things you're going to do today that take you closer to that versus further away. I mean, every decision you make is going to take you closer or further away. So
and then if you pull it out and you see that you're not doing it, you can do a little self-shaming and get yourself back on track.
Exactly. So have goals, have it be something that excites you, and have it be something that's actually a challenge. Not like you can get it done. It's good to have small goals that you can hit along the way, but your longer term goal needs to be something that's going to push you, challenge you, and turn you into a better person.
Yeah, I think when people set goals, I think we talked about this a little bit, maybe 2 episodes ago or something, that you don't have to your goals don't always have to align with the sport that you're doing right now.
Correct.
You can switch. I mean, there's no law that if you start your, fitness career in running, that you have to stay running.
Exactly.
Or if you go into triathlon, that you're forever a triathlete, you can bounce back and forth, change your mind a little bit. As long as it excites you and gets you out of bed, then it's a worthy goal.
Exactly. And I would encourage, obviously this is a endurance sport podcast and live show that we do, but I would encourage you to kind of think about what are each of the roles you play on a day-to-day basis. So are you a parent? Are you a sibling? Are you a son or daughter? You probably are, whether or not you're here. If your parents are still alive. But what are the roles? What your business or your employment? Have goals in each one of those areas, and revisit that as well. And now as you're taking on the day, here's each of the hats I wear, and here's the things I'm trying to accomplish in each one of those. Yeah,
and as a triathlete, I hate saying this, but training for 3 sports isn't for everybody. And there's a lot of people that want to do triathlon and they set big goals, but realistically, they don't have the available time to to improve the way they want to and keep their life balance. And something is going to give at some point. And it usually results in them eventually not doing triathlon for a long time, whereas you could take a little time and focus on one sport and then come back to it and you'll love it just as much. But I think a lot of people try to push it and keep themselves into that triathlon mindset, thinking, I don't want to lose all my swim fitness or my run fitness if I just ride my bike all the time. But if it's going to keep your life balanced, it's totally worth, just focusing on one thing. Come back to it later.
Exactly.
So the number one thing we hear people make goals on is consistency. I'm going to get to the gym every day. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to not let work get in the way or not let this get in the way of my goals. But inevitably, something happens and it blows up in their face. So these are kind of our tips for achieving your consistency goals, because we've said consistency in every episode. And we will continue to say consistency in every episode. But these are our tips for reaching great consistency. And the number one thing, easiest thing, because remember gear is the easiest thing to change, is just having the right equipment to reduce excuses. So when you have the right equipment, like being it indoor training equipment,
Yeah, we're talking about your environment. So where do you train?
Yep.
That's your environment. What do you need to do to set that environment up to where that day you don't want to do the workout, you aren't thinking like, oh, my cycling shoes are downstairs, not upstairs, and I don't want to go downstairs to get my shoes. Like, what things can you do with your environment? Or it's raining outside, I don't have a trainer.
Yeah, you get that pause, and even that short pause of like, causes a lot of people to just scrap it. But if you have the indoor equipment, you really have no excuse.
Exactly.
And you can even take that a step further, and you can set that equipment up.
Definitely do that.
So that when it comes time to do that session, it's staring you in the face, and you have even less of an excuse. I know, like, for me, the hardest thing to do is to get to the pool.
Yep.
Because, like, in my environment, in my environment, I have a trainer, I have a treadmill in the house. Like, it's always set up. I have no excuse to like
easy.
Miss
You've
a bike or a
created
run.
an environment where it's easy to make it happen.
I've made it so easy, and I rarely miss a bike or a run. But for the pool, I have to go there. I have to have a block of time to get there, to get dressed, to do the workout, to then get change again, and then get home in time to do what I need to do. So even a 40-minute swim or a 45 to an hour swim is actually an hour and a half to 2 hour block. So what I do to make sure that I can get those in is I either do them like right after, if I'm going to be out by a pool, I make sure that I have my stuff with me, and I don't let myself get home and then say, oh yeah, I could have just gotten a swim in and saved 30 minutes from not having to drive back there.
So the big point on that was he makes sure he has his stuff with him.
At all
and
times.
Even if it means you have to buy 2 sets of stuff.
Yeah.
Where you may have 2 different cars, and sometimes you're in a different car. Like, spend that little bit of money and have 2 sets if you need to have 2 sets on any of this stuff. Long term, you achieving those lofty goals, it's going to be worth it to you to make sure you do that.
I also make sure that if I have intent to get a swim in, that bag sits right next to the front door, so I cannot physically go out the door without seeing it and grabbing it. Or the night before, I throw it in vehicle, so it's already there, and it's there. There's like no excuse aside from me just not wanting to do it and being lazy.
Yep.
And then I say, okay, well, do I really want to hit this goal? I have no excuses. It's all here.
Pull your little note card back out and relook at that goal. There's a reason you had it, and it's something that should be exciting to you.
Yeah.
We already touched on that.
Yeah. Another big one is, have a plan. Like, have a plan way before, whether it's a set plan, like a cookie cutter plan you got on the internet, or you have a coach and your coach has a plan for you. Tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or whatever, you have to do this, and ahead of time, so you can plan ahead of time. Generally speaking, when people try to figure out what they need to do on that day, it's hit or miss.
Oh, it's so easy, because then you tell yourself, well, I'm not going to do today, but I'll do it tomorrow as well as my other thing I had, or I'll just adjust everything. I'll shift everything forward one. And one of the things that with a general, like a pre-made plan, one of the tough things where we've seen people not have as much success is, if say it's someone doing a triathlon and the swim has been built on a Wednesday, but your day is a Thursday that you can get to a swim. That's just, one more thing that can make it more challenging for you to make it happen. So yeah, having the plan where there's nothing to, leaves no guesswork, it's already there, and you can preset and pre-plan your environment to make sure you have the greatest success of making that happen. You're going to be a lot more likely to actually hit that workout. Absolutely. And we've mentioned it every episode, the difference between people seeing big gains and people kind of seeing small gains or no gains is doing the workouts that you ordinarily would have skipped.
Yeah, consistently.
Consistent. Consistency.
So like I'll backtrack a little bit, but we talked about having the gear to reduce excuses.
Yep.
One big part of that is having the proper clothing, especially in the colder weather when everybody is, I don't want to go outside, it's too cold.
Yep.
You having that proper winter training gear, or whatever the layers that you need to prepare for an outdoor workout, especially if you're one of those people that really hates working out inside, have that clothing and then organize that clothing.
That's the big one. Have a set spot in your house, whether it's a dedicated drawer, whether you hang everything. Prevent it to where you're having to search for anything. You know where it's at. You know where it's going to be. You don't spend 15 minutes searching for it and then go, forget it. It was only an hour workout anyway. I couldn't find it. Tomorrow I'll do it.
I've got a bib drawer.
Nice.
A jersey drawer.
Whoa.
A skin suit and thermal drawer. And then I have a drawer full of jackets and triathlon gear.
And you probably have one for electronics. Because you love electronics.
I don't. I just let those. I let those.
You just keep one on your wrist at all times.
They're attached to me. Oh, that's the first.
Oh man.
They're attached to bikes and my wrist usually. So.
But yeah, have that set spot where there is no, where it's at. There's no searching. It's easy.
Yep.
So make your environment as easy as possible.
I just realized I have way too much clothing.
For you to.
Yeah, make it easy. So as far as your surroundings go, this is big. The people that you surround yourself with is a massive, it could be massively good or bad for your consistency. If you have a training partner that doesn't really hold you accountable, or you work out with a group that sometimes everybody gets together and sometimes they don't, that's not usually very good. But it really only takes one really solid training partner to, hold you accountable. And when if I text and say, gosh, it's really cold out right now, and Brian's already geared up and he'll make some snarky comment about being a sissy, and then I'm outside.
And if you were on your own having to make that decision,
probably wouldn't have done the same workout.
Pretty easy to blow off, or modify, or exactly. Yeah, having a good training group is huge, and getting plugged into that, is definitely, but it can also be a bad thing.
Yeah, again, it goes both ways, because I've seen people train on group runs, group rides, and they're by far the strongest person in the group, or they just kind of go with whatever the group is doing, and they're not ever really pushing themselves. I mean, you never get a training load that's going to create an adaptation if you just do the same effort every week. It's great, it's fun socially, use it as an easy workout, and then do the structured stuff on your own. But if you're not, if the group isn't pushing you, then it may not be a great group environment for you, so to speak.
Yep.
Another thing is, we're talking about pre-planning, have your routes set out, whether it's a run or a bike. I ride the same routes a lot, but it's mainly because I don't have to think about it. I know the roads are safe.
How much time it takes.
Yeah. I know where I can get in long intervals or short intervals, or I know where the dogs are going to come out and... Which is
an interval, because you got to out-sprint them.
Sprint interval. But I know all this stuff. I know the distances. I don't have to question it. And so I just go out and go. There's one less thing to think about and one less excuse to not do it. I think the last one is one that we both kind of, you kind of walk a tightrope with some folks every now and again when they say that they don't want to get up in the morning. But get out of bed.
Get up.
I mean, get up and get it done
that
early.
Be part of your routine. If you want to stay consistent, early morning workouts
No
are
better
going
time.
to be the number way you can do it. And it's going to take you less time to actually get it completed because there are a lot fewer people that are up at that time of day.
Yep.
Dale and I have early morning clients, and it takes me at 4:45 a.m. when I'm working with my 5 a.m. client, it takes me 10 minutes, 12 minutes to get there because there's no traffic.
Mm-hmm.
That same house, I work with the spouse later in the day, and it's a 30-minute almost drive.
Yep.
You know, if you get stuck in rush hour, a 30-minute drive.
Yep.
So you free up more time by getting up early. You aren't going to have people pulling at you. You know, if you have kids are asleep.
Yep.
Hopefully, unless you got little kids, then that could be a problem. In which case, change your environment and put your bedroom far away from the kids and just let the other person.
Easy peasy. Go sleep in the guest bedroom.
But here's the thing, like, some people say, yeah, I'm not a morning person. You can be a morning person.
Yeah, I was never a morning person, you know, and
It's going to suck. Like the
it
first
does for a while.
couple weeks, but rip it off like a Band-Aid. I mean, don't, like, okay, I'm going to get up 10 minutes earlier this week and then 20 minutes earlier the next week. It's just rip it off like a Band-Aid. Get up early, get through the first week, and I guarantee you, you're going to be okay.
And I know a lot of people, I know there's several people that we coach that if they watch this, they're going to be like, man, he's talking to me. He's talking to me. Get up. I mean, there's no better time, no fewer excuses at that time of day, aside from you're tired. So we'll get to it.
We're going to dive into it more on recovery, but
if you're not going to bed early enough, then that's a problem too. That's part of recovery, but
this is that last part, that routines and habits.
yeah,
Like,
it's hard
have
to
a
change. But
set time you wake up and a set time you go to bed.
yep.
And if you can get your body into that rhythm where it knows what's happening, we talk about rhythm all the time. We talk about, you know, your heart likes to be in a rhythm, right? With our efficiency stuff we do with athletes, dialing your breathing rhythm into your body movements is something that your body likes, helps decrease perceived effort. Same thing with your sleep routine, your sleep cycle. Like, we're going to go into that on recovery, but get into a routine, get into a rhythm, and your body's going to appreciate that.
Yeah. So get up.
All right, moving on.
All right. So the next thing that everybody has great intentions.
This
on
is probably the
changing.
biggest one, to be honest.
This is the biggest one. Nutrition changes, and whether that means losing weight or just, you know, eating better in general, like
eating more clean,
yeah,
cleaning up your diet,
or you know, fixing your
not eating out as much.
Training nutrition. I mean,
yeah.
Whether it's, you know, any of those things, nutrition is just a huge thing that people always say they're going to fix and then never do. So
we've worked with a lot of people who want to make changes with their nutrition, eat healthier, clean up their diet, and if you look in their pantry, it is not conducive to actually achieving that goal.
This is your habitat. If you live in an area that has nothing, like even like half the choices that you have are terrible, that's 50% more opportunity to make a bad choice. So,
and it's almost 100% guarantee, because when you get late in the day and your willpower is gone, like you've been so good all day and suddenly you're having that little breakdown, and you know there's that sleeve of Oreos sitting in your pantry.
just chilling there.
You're not busy thinking about that apple, which probably, if it's a Honeycrisp, is probably equally, well,
sugary,
very tasty. I would say both are good, but you're not going to think about the healthy item. You're going to be craving that thing that, and if you're a person who can keep willpower and eat just like two,
more power to you.
More power to you.
I don't know anybody like that, but
I know a lot of people who will be cashing.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't keep it in the house. Like if it's something I personally really don't like, I don't want to be tempted by, I don't keep it in the house. And I yell at my wife when she brings it in the house, and she's like, "You love them too," and I'm like, I know, that's a problem. Like, that is...
And the only way I can get rid of them is I eat them all right
all
now.
at once.
I'm going to eat them all right now. This
I'm
is
getting
probably
those out of the house.
Casey would not be too happy. Like,
Yeah, well,
this is not a healthy relationship with with your
My
food.
only way to get these out of the house, because I don't like wasting food. Get them, eat them all tonight.
But another option, so say someone says that is just not possible for whatever reason.
I got
That's
kids,
not,
man.
I
My
got
kids need
kids.
snacks.
Exactly. That's not possible.
Do your kids need to eat Oreos? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably a good other choices too.
But have the healthy stuff available
Yeah.
and ready. Like, making a salad takes a long time. If you have a set day, first off, each time you go to the store, if you make sure you're on your shopping list, you're buying the stuff, you have it in your house. Step one, you have to have it there so you can eat it. But step two, if you can pre-prep as much of that stuff as possible and have in your fridge or in your pantry something that's easy and quick. You know, if you want to make a salad and everything's all chopped up for you and all you have to do is dump it into a bowl and go to town, for a lot of folks, that would be something that they would be able to go to rather than, it's going to take me 30 minutes. What do I have that's quick and easy? So you got to have, fast foods become a huge market because it's fast.
Quick,
and people
cheap
aren't
and easy.
people aren't planning. People are reaction mode. Oh, I'm hungry. What is there to eat?
Right now.
Well, you need to have in your environment readily accessible good options for you.
Yep.
And that kind of goes into to having a plan.
Yep.
Like there's nothing wrong with having a preset plan. These are the foods I like. This is what I'm going to have for dinner. We were talking before we even started. It's like, I guarantee there's a lot of people where it's 5:30 at night, you get home from work, or like in our case, we work from home. And the question is, all right, everyone's hungry. What are we going to eat?
Yep.
And you're like,
I don't want to cook.
You decide.
You want to cook?
You decide.
I don't want to cook.
I don't care.
Nobody wants to cook.
Let's go get some food.
Yep.
So now there's options out there. You have the meal subscriptions, the delivery, service. It can come to your door with the recipe.
Yeah, we just started. We did it a long time. We did Blue Apron a long time ago. Shout out Blue Apron. We did Blue Apron a while back, and it was good because we ate different things. We got to eat different options, and it comes and it's super easy, and it actually was nice to because we're both kind of cooking it, because most of the time it's like, if it's one of our top 5 meals that we cook, one person's cooking it and the other person's messing with kids, blah, blah, blah. But when we did the Blue Apron stuff, we were both in there cooking, so we were actually getting some personal time at the same time. We were eating different things that we would have normally not eaten, and it's a fairly healthy option. We always got the vegan or vegetarian dishes, whatever they have, but it's healthier food, and we're not having to think about it because it comes to the door. So at least 3 out of 5 weeknights, we have an interesting, healthy option, and we're getting family time.
Yep.
So we just started another one. So
there you go.
Here we go.
One thing I like, I don't do the meal subscription stuff, but in the same tune, it's having it ready and knowing what it's going to be. You have the ingredients, you know what it's going to be, so there's no decision making happening.
Yep.
And I sat down with my kids and we wrote out a dinner plan for the kids, the stuff that they liked, stuff that we liked, so that Monday we know it's this, Tuesday we know it's this. And we don't always hit it, but it really increases our chance of eating healthy and not going out to eat. And usually if you're already hungry and trying to make a decision on where you're going to go eat, it's not going to be to the salad bar. It's going to be to the what's really sounding good right now.
I think that the major point that I'm hearing in that is get your family on board.
Oh, for sure.
Because there is nothing easier to derail you than the other people in your household.
Which is a major part of your environment, right?
If you want to eat healthy and everyone else in your family could care less, it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be real hard. Even if you get that stuff out of the house, somehow it's going to come back in. Or, if with kids, if they see you don't put stock in eating healthy, they're not going to
Once
care.
a day,
They're learning from you. So,
Yep.
you know, if you're eating healthier, they'll go along with it. You know, a lot of times it's, you know, you have to get the spouse on board or whoever else is in the house and
Yep.
gets the groceries or whatever. Everybody's got to be on board, or it really can backfire.
It makes it
pretty
tough.
quickly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But like another tip kind of in line with that. So that the next thing is like, okay, well, that's dinner, but what about lunch?
Yeah.
And, you know, say you go to, you know, you drive to work, you don't want to get up early in the morning and, you know, make food or prep your own food. One of the things that I really like doing is making extra of whatever you're going to have for dinner and have that as leftovers for the next day, or maybe 2 days later if you're someone who doesn't like to eat the same thing the next day that you had the night before. But if you made yourself something that's healthy that evening and you pre-pack it, so as soon as you're doing cleanup or before you even start eating, put it in a jar or put it in a thing of Tupperware, or, you know, have it where it's already ready for you to go, and all you have to do next day when you walk out the door is have it. It's a simple way to, when lunchtime rolls around, you know what you've got. You aren't thinking about, okay, it's lunchtime, what should I get? Or what's in the, what do they call it at a meal room? What do they call it? Dale and I work from home. So when you're at like cafeteria?
What is that place called?
Like, like big offices where they got the lounge? The lounge. Here's our lounge. Our lounge is a couch.
Employee lounge. Right here.
But like have it ready. Do bulk cooking. I mean, there's a lot of options you can do to have stuff ready.
It just all centers around planning. I mean, if you don't like to plan, you're going to struggle with all of these. So, you know, turning over a new leaf as far as planning, maybe not even just, don't set your goals in anything specific other than I need to learn how to plan better.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that may be the kicker right there. So there's a lot of people that, you know, work weird hours, travel a lot with work, and we get the question all the time, like, man, I travel, I work these hours, I don't necessarily get a lunch break, blah, blah, blah. Like, what can I do to eat better? And aside from like the pre-planning and pre-cooking and you know, that's a huge for folks like that. One thing is just keeping your snacks nearby, like keeping your healthy snacks so that, you know, you can time it out. And then that's, you know, if you know you're not going to be able to eat lunch until X time, that'll hold you over so that you don't get to lunch and you're absolutely starving and you just binge on whatever's there, you know, to fill you up quick. So keep snacks by. I mean, every parent knows you got to keep those snacks close by.
You got to have snacks. Snack pack's huge.
Whew. So,
and same with travel. Like, if you're going through airports, you can have some healthy snacks that you've brought with you. You know, we've got athletes, and this kind of goes back to the consistency part, but we have athletes who travel who will make sure they are going to a hotel or being booked in a hotel that has a workout facility that's quality.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked about this on a different episode when our British boys were here. I think we mentioned it, but like, do a little, again, plan and be in an area where you know there's going to be some healthy food choices and access to equipment so you can get your workouts in. You're now changing your environment to set yourself up for success.
Yep. And so like if you're one of those people that like has to do a lot of entertaining with your job, as far as like taking people out, we've come across this a million times over the years. And one of the big things that, again, it takes planning, but, you know, eating something healthier before you go out to that work dinner, so that you either don't have to eat at all or don't have to eat as much. If it really means that much to you as far as nutrition goals, you know, eat something healthier if you know that work dinner is at a place that's not conducive for healthy eating. Or you can, you know, don't be afraid to tweak an order Funston might know something about that. What you know about that, Funston?
I'm the king of tweaking orders. Like this is about to be like anytime a server comes up that has no notepad, like
Brian
I
gets
don't
real
know.
nervous.
You might want to go back and grab a notepad because it's about to get. I'm like the one they hate, I think. But don't be afraid to tweak what is on the order to make it a little healthier.
Yep.
And it may not always be about, this is like the perfect, most healthy item I can have. It's I'm changing to a healthier option maybe than I would have otherwise. Or if you have any say on where you're going, don't be afraid to try to choose a little healthier place.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's most times when people are getting stuff delivered, it always seems like it's like the worst stuff for you. I think we're starting to see a shift, or hopefully we're starting to see a shift of more people that are health conscious, that are wanting to eat better. So, maybe asking if when there is catered food at your office, is there an option to get some healthier items on board? Like, can you change it to where now you're not having to have this willpower, you're hungry, you forgot your snacks, but you're helping set up that environment to where not only you're eating healthier, but when people start seeing you do it, it's easy for that to trickle down to other people. So you can help change other people as well with that.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more normal these days for people to ask, if what kind of food you want, or not just assume that everybody wants to eat a big hunk of meat and whatever else. So yeah, don't be afraid to make suggestions if you have a say in what you're going to be eating. So let's jump to the last one, recovery. And this is one that a lot of people should be setting goals in. Maybe not as obvious as the first two.
There's probably a few people that are like, no, I got recovery down.
Yeah.
There's one issue I don't have problems with.
Yeah.
It's sitting on the couch.
I am so recovered right now.
You could not get more rested than me.
I'm recovered AF.
So with recovery, we're talking about sleep.
Yep.
Which I think is an issue. If people don't have that on their list, I think we're in a day and age where I think a lot of people struggle with sleep.
Yep.
Stretching. We're talking about the toughest stuff we have with our athletes.
Yeah.
Stretching's strength training, stretching are two tough ones that we generally have. And other recovery stuff, foam rolling.
Yeah, like obviously there's a lot of crossover in all these things we're talking about, but like nutrition obviously is a big part of recovery. So we won't touch a lot on that, but the big ones are, as far as recovery goes, are sleep and the stretching or loosening and however you want to put it. Stretching, rolling, that can include pneumatic boots or something like that, whatever's in your routine.
Yeah, there's a lot of recovery.
There's a lot of options.
Devices out there.
So that goes into the first point, which is get whatever equipment you need to make it convenient or to make it interesting for you. Like some people, I'm not a huge yoga person, but if somebody has like trouble, like just will not freaking stretch, I'll tell them to do yoga because there's no easier way to get somebody to do stretching. It's just it's stretching routine more or less.
And that could be, if you're someone you're more motivated being with a group of people, go to a yoga studio.
Yep.
If you're someone who doesn't like that or doesn't have the time to, you wouldn't believe how many options there are online to watch and follow along with a yoga video.
But get the equipment, get the foam roller, get the massage stick, get the I use Air Relax boots or Normatec boots or whatever. Get those things that make you want to do the recovery things and make it easy for you to do those recovery things. That's the easiest thing you can do is to get that stuff, have it sitting there staring in your face when you get back from workout, and jump on it. The other big thing with we'll stick on the stretching port or the loosening,
lengthening of muscles versus the shortening.
If you're gonna, stretching wise, if you just hate doing it or you just can't manage to do it after the workout,
Dale, there's no time.
There's just no time.
Is one of the big ones.
If you can't figure it out right after a workout, my two favorite times to stretch are like if I get any time to watch TV at night, I will stretch and roll at the same time. Roll first to warm the muscles up, and then do your static stretching. The other time is in the shower because your muscles are warmed up, a little bit more pliable. So stretching in the shower.
You probably need a no-slip mat.
We recommend no slip.
We don't recommend soaping the bottom of your feet up. Feet? Did I just say feet?
You did.
Bottom of your feet up.
Yeah.
And then trying to do the single leg hamstring stretch. Don't do that.
Yeah. One thing, other part as far as recovery goes, and we didn't actually put notes on this, but we got to talk about it.
Oh, I'm curious.
Recovery runs, rides, those things, they've got to be easy. Like probably the number one thing we see when we set that's an issue if we set a recovery workout and it says recovery and it says zone 1 and it says small chain ring or whatever, is people go too hard. And like recovery should be like painfully easy. I know that sounds funny, but recovery should be super duper annoyingly easy. And a lot of people think, well, then why am I even wasting my time on it? But the best example the best reason I put out there is because when you're going super easy and your muscles are contracting, you are pushing all of that junk, so to speak. Same thing like a Normatec boots would do, or like a Mark Pro or something like that. The muscles contract and they're pushing all that junk out, through like your lymphatic system and all that stuff, pushing all the junk out, but you're not actually adding much, if any, training load. So you're not adding fatigue.
You're not stressing
but
your
you're
body.
pushing out the crap. So those things are worth doing. You can supplement that or swap it out if you do have something like a pneumatic boot or a Mark Pro or a Compex or something like that, and achieve the same result.
And from an environment standpoint, this is the one time that I would not recommend you going out and doing it with some other person. So this is a great time for indoor training. Usually it's a shorter workout anyway, but a great time to be in a very controlled environment where, if you live in a hilly area, it's almost impossible sometimes to go easy if you have to ride up or run up a 6% hill. Yep. So you can't go easy. But if you're indoors on a trainer or on a treadmill, you can go easy. I'm not going to shift gears, or I'm going to stay in the small ring, or there's ways to control that and control the natural impulse to see who can go faster than the other person.
I'm
like
gonna
a group
go
ride happens.
to the Tuesday Hammerfest, but I'm just gonna ride at the back.
I'm just gonna sit in.
Sit in nice and easy. That'd be all right.
All right, let's dive into sleep.
Yeah, sleep's huge because people don't get enough of it, and they stay up too late and then don't get up early.
Oh, this is where I'm putting on my glasses.
Okay, yeah.
I forgot. I brought a prop today.
Yeah. So Brian has sunglasses on, amber lens sunglasses. So sleep, like what we already talked about, setting your bedtime. Like make sure, like if you really want to get enough sleep, like cut it off. Like you have to be in bed at this time. I know it sounds like you're a kid again, but sometimes you have to set those boundaries to actually achieve the goal that you want. Set your bedtime. We talk about, you've probably heard this, a lot of stuff you've probably heard, but the goal here today is to ring it in one more time so that you actually make a change, this time around. Your bedroom is for sleeping, and whatever you do.
Not for TV watching.
If you're married
or in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah. Anyway.
All the cues in your room should be triggered towards sleeping, not towards working, not towards watching TV, or you want your sleep environment to be an environment where your body knows it's time to rest, to go to sleep.
Your area, your place of Zen, your Shangri-La. I don't know if I used that right.
I don't know if you did either.
But yeah, you want that spot to be like your body knows when you hit that, memory foam mattress, is lights out.
So get rid of the TV. Like, get the TV out of there. If you're someone who needs some sort of noise, go to like a sound machine, or like on the shout out to Alexa. Alexa plays ocean sounds for me each night. Soothing ocean sounds. I get clearly Dale does not have an Alexa in here. Otherwise, ocean sounds would be playing.
I do not. I don't do Alexa.
But turn that into what time you're going to bed. So you got your bedtime routine. Once you get into your bedroom, the distractions are out of there. There's not stuff that's going to be trying to pull your attention. The other big thing that starts sucking people's attention at bedtime is, what's happening on Facebook, or what emails did I just get, or, create a separation time. The phones are fancy enough now where you can still have it as your alarm.
Oh, yeah.
But not be getting dings or notification, like turn off notifications, or do not disturb, or go into airplane mode, or, whatever you need to do. You can even set specific times. 7 p.m. every day. I want no more notifications, and I don't want them to come back again until, don't have it where when you wake up and you're supposed to be getting a workout, that your notifications are already popping back up again. And you see, I've got 8 new emails. Oh, I wonder what that, let me figure out what that was. Maybe it's someone's wanting to pay me $1 million to come work for them instead. Don't let your first thing be controlled by other people and their need for your time. So have your mornings we talked about having your mornings be set for your time, review your goals, get excited about the day, get your workout in, and then have your notifications start popping up again where you're ready to take on the day and not be distracted.
That's some big ones there. Some good, those are gold nuggets. Those are gold
nuggets. There's a few gold nuggets in there?
Those are gold nuggets. Yeah.
My grandpa would be proud. He's a gold miner.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Random side note.
Yeah. So, set the do not disturb. I set mine from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. so that if I do, in fact, get a time to do a workout, I'm not going to pick my phone up and there's immediately going to be notifications in my face. Mm-hmm. At the same time, if I'm going to get a workout at night, those notifications aren't going to, mess with that, or family time or whatever.
Yep.
My phone does not make a single noise, beep, vibration between 7 and 7. Mm-hmm.
And if you're someone who just can't stand not being able to check it, you're someone that's going to need to change your environment, buy an alarm clock then, and get your phone out of your room. I mean, you got to make a change.
Yeah.
If your goals are important to you, you got to make the change.
If you're like me and your brain never stops moving or has trouble winding down, put a notepad by your bed, the old pen and paper, and just...
Because again, now it's not on this where you see the notification and then decide to go into a death scroll.
Yeah.
Have the pen and paper where you can get the thought out. It's there in the morning.
Yep. You won't lose it.
It's not going to be lost. It's safely kept next to you, whether it's a great business idea or something you think you got to, or that you forgot to write down that you got to do tomorrow, or get it out of your brain, onto the pad, and now you can clear your mind again, or at least hopefully clear it a little more.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Now, the reason I got these ambers on, and part of the downfall, something you can also do on your phones is change the light setting on them.
Yeah.
Studies showing that the blue wavelength of light, which we get a lot, from all of these things.
From every screen.
Decreases that melatonin production, so your natural go to sleep. So if you can cut that out, or
just wear sunglasses to bed.
Or they make the lenses that filter out the blue light, and you look really cool. I mean, right?
Yeah, you look really cool, Brian.
I mean,
sure.
I'm actually just gonna wear these all the time. But there are options, you can, if you are gonna watch TV and you want to test that out. I haven't really experimented with it much, but the studies say that amber lenses help cut it out. But if you've already canceled out your bedtime TV watching and your phone usage and allow yourself that kind of calm down period leading to bedtime, it's going to help you big time.
Most of the newer phones also have that night shift mode.
Yeah.
So it changes the color length of, or whatever, wavelength of color.
We getting any comments over there?
Oh, we're getting comments.
What we got?
We got
Any questions? Anyone giving goals that they've got?
We got Chris. Chris is his goal is to prioritize recovery.
Nice. Is this Chris Winter?
Norris. Chris Norris.
Oh, nice.
And
Recovery. We talked about that one.
Yeah, learn what activities he can do during scheduled recovery periods to help it go smoothly. So like, yeah, I mean, we just kind of talked about it, making sure that during your set recovery, that those things are easy, painfully easy.
And a great time to do a shorter workout and then prioritize stretching.
Yep.
You know, get the muscles warmed up and then use that as a day where like, okay, I'm going to get some quality stretching, get your body used to it. I've also had, so kind of diving back, I know we're going backwards a little bit here, but I've had athletes who said, I don't stretch because I'm not sure what stretches to do. So that's an environmental change you can make.
Yep.
You can either have a stretching video, which we've got. If you want it, we can shoot you guys a link to it. The production value is huge on it. It's high quality.
Amazing.
But it's simple stretches that you can do. You make sure you're hitting the major muscle groups that you need to be to stay loose and help prevent injury. But that's one less excuse. It's one less thing.
Yep.
It can be done in your house. You can pull it up on your phone or wherever, and you just follow along. So you've changed your environment. You've eliminated an excuse, and now you're ready to make that happen.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you're one of those people that's constantly sick, injured, super fatigued, you probably need to set your goals in the realm of recovery
and nutrition
for 2019. Yeah,
yeah, recovery and nutrition for sure.
Yeah, you're probably got the consistency thing down.
Overly consistent.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's all we got for today. Unless you got anything else, Funston. Don't. We don't need to start back. We don't need to fire back up now.
If you wait long enough, if you don't close this quick enough, I'll think of something.
Yeah. All right. So we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out. Adios.
Peace.